everybody. Thank you for coming today. My name is Erin Griffith. I am the educator here at the Silver City Museum. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out and for Storytime. We do this every other week, and just happy to see you. Tonight we have a really interesting book that a lot of you may have never heard of before. It's called When Clay Sings by Miss Byrd Baylor. And this is one of the great things about this book in particular, is that it deals with pottery and with art and imagination and what people might have thought of all of these amazing designs that they see on Membrano pottery. And when I say Membrano, then I don't know if you guys know this, but Membrano pottery is a specific kind of pottery that's only available in this neck of the woods. And it's famous all around the world for having some of the most ancient and interesting designs, and you can only see it here in Grant County is where it came from. And there's some examples here at the museum and in other places, so you might want to take advantage of stopping by. And we're so lucky to have Joao and Luis are going to read for us tonight. And these are some guys who know a little bit about art and a little bit about poetry and a lot about how that can speak to the spirit. And I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Joao Galera, and he'll explain a few things. I think we're ready for our story now.
I'm Joao Galera. I want to thank you for the invitation to be here to read this story. I'm the artist-in-residence for the University of Silver City in the town. I'm here with Luis. Luis is my husband. We are from Brazil. We are here for 1 year. During this year, I was doing this project with the university and the town. And one of the projects is with clay. I called the community art installation. And the idea was to invite people to do an object with clay. I brought some here. You can see here behind me. And I will present this work this week on Thursday and Friday at Light Art Space from 3 until 7:30. Okay, so Thursday and Friday, 18th and 19th of June. You are invited. So thank you, and let's start the story.
Hi, I'm Luis, and this is When the Clay Sings. There are desert hillsides where ancient Indian pottery still lies, half buried in the sand, and lizards blink at other dust lizards that were painted on those pots 1,000 years ago.
Há laderas del desierto, donde la antigua cerámica india todavía yace enterrada en la arena, y los lagartos parpadeam a outros lagartos polvorentos, que foram pintados nessas macetas há 1000 anos.
Now, Indian children make a game of searching for bits of clay that were once somebody's bowl or mug or cooking pot or diaper. Their parents look at what they find and tell them, remember, treat it with respect. It is so old. They say that every piece of clay is a piece of someone's life. They even say it has its own small voice and sings in its own way.
Ahora los niños indios hacen un juego de buscar trozos de barro que alguna vez fueron el tazón o la taza de alguien, o la olla o el cucharón. Sus padres miran lo que encuentran y le dicen, recuerda, trátalo con respeto, es tan viejo. Dicen que cada pedazo de barro es un pedazo de la vida de alguien. Incluso dicen que tiene su propia voz pequeña y que canta a su manera.
So, the children touch the pieces carefully as they kneel there in the hot, dry sand, listening for whatever voice a broken pot might use, a windy voice, a sandy voice, a voice like a far bird's cry.
Entonces, los niños tocan las piezas con cuidado, mientras se arrodillan allí en la arena caliente y seca, escuchando cualquier voz que pueda usar una olla rota. Una voz ventosa, una voz arenosa, una voz como el llanto de un pájaro lejano.
Sometimes, if they look long enough, and if they are lucky enough, they can fit 4 or 5 pieces together, the way you'd do a jigsaw puzzle.
A veces, si se ven lo suficientemente largas y si tienen la suerte, pueden juntar 4 o 5 piezas de la misma manera que se haría un rompecabezas.
Then, suddenly, they see a perk, wide-eyed bird look up at them, surprised. Maybe the bow of the bird was dropped by some other Indian child who chased a rabbit near these same rocks then.
Entonces, de repente, ven un pájaro alegre con los ojos muy abiertos que los mira, sorprendido. Quizá otro niño indio arrojó el cuenco con el pájaro y persiguió a una coneja cerca de estas mismas rocas.
When they find a bowl that isn't broken, the children can pretend that they've just eaten from it and that they are sitting by some campfire on a deerskin blanket, and it's then, not now. And they speak in older language.
Cuando encuentran un cuenco que no está roto, los niños pueden fingir que acaban de comer y que están sentados junto a una fogata en una manta de piel de ciervo y que no es ahora y hablan un idioma antiguo.
But they don't need words to know that there were speckled bugs and spotted bugs and bugs with shiny wings and pinching bugs and jumping bugs and bugs that had 1,000 legs that liked to walk through grass.
Pero não necessitam palavras para saber que haviam bichos moteados, e bichos manchados, e bichos com alas brilhantes, e bichos picantes, e bichos nerviosos, e bichos que tinham 1000 patas, que lhes gostava caminhar por la hierba.
They know the molding of a lump of clay has always been a slow and gentle work. No hurry, no rushing. Hands that shape the earth this way have time to know the cool touch of the sand.
Sabem que moldear uma massa de barro sempre ha sido um trabalho lento e suave, sem prisas, sem apuros. Las manos que moldam a terra desta maneira têm tempo para conhecer o toque fresco de la arena.
Women then must have spoken to the earth as they took its clay. They must have sung special songs for shaping the bowl, for polishing it, for baking it, so it would be strong enough to last long after that tribe was gone.
Entonces, las mujeres deben haber hablado a la tierra, mientras tomavam su barro. Devem haber cantado canções especiais para dar forma ao cuenco, pulirlo, hornearlo para que lo sea lo suficientemente fuerte para durar muito tempo depois que essa tribo se haya ido.
Once, somebody sitting on the ground outside a high cold cliff house thought, "I'll make this bowl as pretty as I can." And she painted what she liked the most, the stars and moon and sun and whirlwinds.
Uma vez, alguém sentado no suelo, afuera de um acantilhado alto e frio, pensou: haré esse cuenco lo mais bonito que pueda. E ella pintou lo que mais lhe gustava: estrelas e luna, e sol e torbellinos.
Was the sun shining as she worked? Were her own brown naked children playing near? Was there a skinny dog? Was the smell of cooking in the air? Did a man come back from hunting and shake his head? And on the other day, did she paint that hunter too?
Estava brilhando o sol mientras ella trabajava? Estavam rugando cerca sus próprios ninhos morenos desnudos? Havia um perro flaco? Estava o olor de la cocina en el aire? Volvió um hombre de cazar e sacudiu la cabeça? E outro dia, também pintou a esse caçador?
Sometimes, children may have said, but in that other language, "Mama, make a bowl with picture of big animals for me, big, fierce creatures that I will hunt someday." So she drew mountain lions and wildcats and even a man wrestling a bear. Or is it a bear wrestling a man?
A veces los niños pueden haber dicho, pero en aquele de outro idioma: mamá, haz um cuenco com imagens de animais grandes para mim, grandes criaturas feroces que caçaré algum dia. Entonces, ella dibujou leones de montanha e gatos monteses e incluso um homem lutando com um osso. Ou és um osso lutando contra um homem?
The colors are still bright, reds as deep as sandstone cliffs, browns and tans the shade of desert earth, black and white, shining as stones polished by water in how mountain streams.
Los colores siguen sendo brillantes, rojos tão profundos como los anticários de areniscas, marrones e bronceados como as sombras del deserto, negro e blanco, brillante como pedras polidas por el agua em arroios de las altas montanhas.
There were 1,000 shapes to draw: horned toads and lizards, butterflies, turtles, and beautiful leaping fishes.
Havia 1000 formas para dibujar: ranas cornudas e lagartos, mariposas, tortugas e hermoso pez saltando.
And deer and mountain goats and antelope that flashed across these canyons, always faster than the boys who knew their trails and followed them among the rocks.
E venados, e cabras de montanha, e antílopes que cruzavam nesses canhões. Sempre mais rápidos que os muchachos que conheciam seus caminhos e los seguiam entre as rocas.
They even drew the scariest things they could think of, called them monsters, called them night spirits, called them anything.
Incluso dibujaram as coisas mais aterradoras que se lhes ocorreram. Llámalos monstros, llámalos espíritos nocturnos, llámalos como quieras.
Children make them up today, and they still have the same scary look in their eyes.
Los niños los inventaram hoy e todavia têm a mesma mirada aterradora em seus olhos.
Many a child must have eaten rabbit stew for supper out of bowls with rabbits painted on them. Here's a hunter. He used a fine long net for catching rabbits. But what rabbit couldn't jump through that hole in the dish?
Muitos niños devem haver comido estofado de conejo para la cena, em cuencos com conejos pintados em ellos. Aqui há caçador que usava uma rede larga e fina para atrapar conejos. Pero, que conejo não poderia escapar por esse agujero en el plato?
This child was sick, and they called a medicine man to cure him. What magic is he using? What special chants and dances and whispered words and feather winds may have helped the boy get well again? And did medicine made from dry roots and flowers and wild yellow grasses taste like pink medicine tastes today?
Este niño estava enfermo e chamaram a um curandeiro para que lo curara. Que mágica está usando? Que cantos e bailes especiais e palavras sussurradas e varitas emplumadas podem haver ajudado a este niño a recuperar-se? E a medicina hecha de raízes e flores e ervas amarillas salvajes, sabia a medicina rosa de agora?
Indians who find this pottery today say that everything has its own spirit, even a broken pot. They say the clay remembers the hands that made it. Does it remember the cornfields too? And the summer rains, and the ceremonies that held life together. Here are the masks and the costumes, and the great dancing figures. Here is the flute player bent low over his song.
Los vídeos que encuentram nessa cerâmica hoje dizem que todo tem seu próprio espírito, incluso uma olla rota. Eles dizem que o barro recuerda as manos que lo hicieron. Recuerda também os campos de maíz e as lluvias de verano e as cerimônias que manteniam a vida unida. Aqui estão las máscaras y los disfraces, y las grandes figuras danzantes. Aqui está el flautista inclinado sobre su canción.
Songs had to be powerful enough to make rain fall and winds blow and seeds sprout in the dark earth. Songs had to be powerful enough to keep warriors safe and lead the hunter to the deer and make summer always follow the winter and hold the sun in its proper path across the sky and keep life moving on from tribe to tribe.
Las canciones tenían que ser lo suficientemente potentes como para hacer caer la lluvia y soplar los vientos y germinar las semillas en la tierra oscura. Las canciones tenían que ser lo suficientemente poderosas para mantener los guerreros seguros y guiar el cazador al venado y hacer que el verano siempre siguiera el invierno y mantener el sol en su correcto a través del cielo y mantener la vida en el movimiento del de tribu en tribu.
They say that even now, the wind sometimes finds one of those songs still in the clay and lifts it out and carries it down the canyon and across the hills. It's a small sound and always far away, but they say sometimes they hear it.
Dicen que incluso ahora el viento às vezes encuentra una de esas canciones todavía en el barro y lo levanta y lo baja por el cañón y cruza las colinas. Es un sonido pequeño y siempre lejos, pero ellos dicen que às vezes lo escuchan.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night. And I would like to invite you again to go to my farewell exhibition at Light Art Space on Thursday and Friday from 3 to 7:30. So June 18 and 19. And I want to thank you also the university, the Western New Mexico University and the town of Silver City that brought us here for this artist-in-residence and the museum that invited us to read this book. Thank you and good night.
Hi, everybody. Didn't they do a wonderful job? Oh my God, that's such a great story. And thank you, Joao, and thank you, Luis. You give so much spirit and so much entertainment into that, and we really appreciate it. I just want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight and to remind you that we will be having this online very shortly. You can go to our website at www.silvercitymuseum.org and find that. I also want to thank the Silver City Library for helping us find these great books and read them and get them out to you. And so if you would like to find and get to read When Clay Sings for yourself, it is available at the Silver City Library. Everybody, have a good night. Snuggle in. Happy story time.